want to talk a little bit about your leadership, and of course that there's always this grace period. But it seems as though you came into an environment where there are two hard-hitting issues. One, redistricting, and then the second, this urban camping ban that was just passed by City Council, that was carried by you. And I heard the meeting on Monday was described to me as a hot, funky mess.
Yes.
Now, when I think about the urban camping issue, that is certainly something that talks about class, I believe. And then when you talked about the redistricting situation, that looked like something that looked like around race and ethnicity.
Yep.
And so talk a little bit about the challenges, what you may have learned, and what's going on in this environment around the urban camping ban and then the redistricting.
Yeah, so the grace is up. It's done. There's no more rookie period. There's no more grace. We don't care about what you've done before. I'm a judge on these two issues, and that's fine. Because, you know, I think people need time to see what trajectory I'm headed on. And so I would say, number one, the redistricting, that was just a mess. That was a real mess. And a lot of race and black against brown and all those conversations come up. But, you know, I really go back to what the data shows. And the data showed that there were shifts all over the city. And we were trying to, you know, make up for those shifts. And there was just some real issues. 38,000 people in District 11. What do we got to do? We got to 30,000 new people. We got to split that in half because every district needs to be 55,000 people. And so we had to split that in half, which made everyone move northeast. And I'm stuck in the middle because basically what happened is District 8 and 9 came together. And District 9 is a historical Latino district, and District 8 is a historical black district. And how do you justify that? I'm glad to say that Councilman Montero and I are working through some of those issues, but I know tempers were raised up.
How do you work through those issues? I mean, you know, you talked about there might have been a fraction between or fracture between this historic black and brown alliance. Yep. You know, and there were some heated words and discussions, and you know, like any hard issue, that's going to occur. But how do you come together and move forward? Yeah,
I guess we took an oath, and to swear upon that oath to represent the people. And so, number one, not to let this become personal. And it wasn't personal. This is just how it shook out. One. Two, I voted for a delay so that we could figure this out. And, you know, it was turned down by mostly everyone. And so I think those folks saw that effort of trying to reach a common ground and cause to figure something out, but it didn't work out. And so I think now we coalesce around other issues and see if we can rebuild that fractured kind of deal. In regards to urban camping, I think, wow, we could be here all day talking. And it was a mess because there are misconceptions, emotions on either side. The people who believe that no matter who you are, this is what people fundamentally believe. No matter who you are, you can sleep out in front of wherever you want to.
And before you go into that, because there are probably people who are watching this or are going to be viewing this that aren't familiar with, you know, what we're talking about, give a little background about what this urban camping ban is.
First thing that hit me in the face when I came in the office was we have populations. Keynote, populations, that means different, diverse populations of people camping in our city. And it is disrupting commerce, it's disrupting our public right-of-ways, the very thing that we need to run a city. And so just meeting with a lot of homeless providers, meeting with protesters, meeting with travelers, transients, to figure out how to deal with that issue. We came up with a ban that has been instituted in hundreds of municipalities to kind of deal with that issue. And in that ban, it says you are not allowed to camp in the city of Denver for 24 hours. With that ban, 200 beds at Crossroads was instituted, 100 beds at Denver Rescue Mission was instituted for the summer, 40 beds at our own New Jerusalem Church, who I want to keep talking about because they are individuals with no budget. Pastor got a real job and come and preach on Sunday, but they're still doing it, and Chum Ministries as well. And so we realize, and I realize, that there may be some unintended consequences to homeless individuals, but I believe by the city providing as a way out over 300 beds, or right about 300 beds, that is a way we're saying we want the people who need the services to go into the services. Along with that, there's a host of other things that we are doing and planning on doing. Next week, we'll be announcing this new 24-hour committee that will be working together because that's the real missing piece for the homeless population is a 24-hour resource center. So we'll be putting that together. But people were upset on both sides of the issue. There's I believe that there were many people who came to the meeting shouting things, all this, and there were hundreds of people who were silent, emailing in, I appreciate your leadership, thank you for this. And so, like I said, the hardest job in District 8 is managing and dealing with the conflicting interests and trying to be about the common good.
And so what are some of the major misconceptions about this urban camping ban?
Thank you for saying urban camping. It's not a homeless ban. You will read on every front paper that it's a homeless ban. It is not a homeless ban. So that's one. Two, that the city of Denver is not compassionate. $59 million to the homeless population over 6 years is deeply compassionate. And you will see more money given to the years that are coming. I just received 2 emails, and I won't say the name of the providers, but they're pretty large providers who said, I disagree with the ban, but we have never seen this much conversation, focus, and unsolicited kind of gifts coming because of this. And so I think it's aroused Denver to say, okay, this is actually a societal problem that we think it's okay for individuals to be sleeping outside. And let me just say, everyone sleeping outside is not homeless. Now, they may not have a home, but some of them choose to, and some of them have fallen on hard times, and those are the people we want to help. And there's data from other cities that show that once you begin pushing people into you got to make a decision. Do you want to go into this housing? Do you want to go into this program? That they actually make a change. And so it was a tough issue, but we feel like it was a tough step in the right direction to begin dealing with these problems we're facing.